Terrific. So, give me a rundown of just how successful the men's and women's and mixed teams have been over the years. Like, tell me just like the gravity of the things they've won. You see this massive trophy case behind you. What do you attribute that to specifically?
I attribute it to the hard work of the competitors. As you see tonight, it's a cold winter's night. And they're out in the dock in the dark. Basically doing their fitness training, doing the ball work. The actual level of training they do is I don't think people understand. They are literally down here 3-4 times a week doing that, and this is on top of the gym work they do and things like that. The other success really is to do with the actual level of coaching that they've obtained through the club over the years. So all the players have basically started at a young age, and they developed within the sport and basically learned how to train. They've learned how to play the game. They've learned the tactics within the game, and they work as a team. So the current ladies team, which is European Club champions, we've got paddlers there who from 16 right through until, I don't want to say the older age, but it's basically and the teamwork is unbelievable. When they come down to train, they train as a team. They don't just come down and paddle themselves. They do the fitness training as a team. They do the everything is done as a teamwork. The current men's team, who come runners up in the European Championships, is basically a team that started off as a youth team. So the same 7 players, apart from a couple that basically have moved into the area over the last 3 years. Basically the core of the team, the core 5 players, basically started as a youth team within the club. So they know each other, and same again, they train as a team, they go out as a team. It is really a good club in relation to, everybody's friendly, everybody knows each other and that type of thing. So it attributes the success to the way the club works with the teams and brings them up. It's not one of these clubs where you can just sort of come in and basically play a game to get success. You need to work for it. They do work hard for it.
So but both the men and women won their national championships last year. The women for a record 12th time.
Yeah.
Would you say that they're the pride of this club at the moment?
I would say the women definitely. I mean, the women, the way they work towards it, and the way they represent the club is unbelievable. You've got obviously the team that's won, but you've also got women's teams coming up within the club, which are assisted by the most successful team. So they help with the training, they help with the developing the sport with those players. So it's not just a team; it's a club. So they do and it's a great achievement to where they are. And especially there's especially one player within the team who's she's been involved in all those. She's been involved in the team from the start, again from when she was a child up until where she is currently within the club. So that's Ginny Coyles. So and the training that she does with the ladies, it basically puts them where they are within the where they are today type of thing.
So I'd very much love to interview Ginny Coyles.
I think she's one of them as well.
And she's I've been told that. I've been told that she doesn't really like it.
Yeah, she doesn't really like it. Yeah, so.
But that's just typical, isn't it?
Yeah.
The figureheads of the club don't want to talk about it, But I suppose I can try and persuade her afterwards to see what happens. So out of all the World Championship and European Championship contenders that this club's nurtured over the years, give me a rundown of all the most prestigious ones, the ones that are most friends of Allenby, if you get what I mean.
I think you know the person you've got to pick is Ginny. You know, Ginny. You know, she's represented Great Britain in the under-21s. You know, and now obviously she coaches at the development academy. You know, which is once a month bringing on the new players. She coaches within the club itself, but she went back into the ladies team last year, basically into the Great Britain's ladies team. So she took a few years out and then she went back and she's still up at the level where all the other players are within that team. You know, so again, a commitment to the sport is unbelievable. So, you know, myself personally, I would say Ginny is and she's an idol to all players within the club. You know, the young, especially the young coming up within the sport. You know, they all look up to her, they all ask her advice, and she quite freely gives it, and she'll help anybody else within the sport. Not necessarily just the club. It's, you know, as I said, development academy. You know, there's a lot of people who basically look up to her within the sport itself, and she is known, you know, throughout the world within canoe polo.
Oh my God! So I'll be really happy to talk to her then. she sounds like quite a player. Yeah. And you know, going back to I've been recently told by a bunch of the players in here that there's a lot of mixed teams as well, men and women. Yeah. And I can't think of any other sports that actually do that off the top of my head.
So this weekend coming, we've got a national Division 2. Which is basically running over at Leeds. So there's a tournament over at Leeds. So this is the National League. So the National League is based on 4 tournaments played over the winter. And basically, because it's all played over the winter, it's played in indoor pools, Olympic-sized pools. So the one on Saturday, we've got 2 teams going across to Leeds, and the 2 of them teams are mixed teams. And one of those teams is hopefully going to, you know, basically trying to push for a spot to be promoted to Division 1 the following years. You know, that's one of our aims, is to try and get 2 teams within Division 1. You know, so we've currently got teams in obviously Division 1 and Division 2 nationally, and then regionally we've got teams in basically all divisions. So, you know, again, Division 4, which is your novices and your starters, and then up to, you know, Northwest Division 1, which we've got 3 teams in at the moment. And again, those 3 teams are mixed teams. You know, it's something that we encourage and the sport encourages. You know, it is one of them sports where, you know, you can play at different levels and different abilities, and, you know, mixed teams or single sex teams. You know, it is quite open to what you want to do and, you know, where you want to play, type of thing.
So what do you think is what's the biggest event Friends of Allenby has got coming up for any of the teams?
It's different levels of events, because obviously club wise we run our own tournament once a year, and that tournament's now in its 30th year.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, isn't it in like May, I think?
It's you basically did the first weekend in April this year, so it's the 1st of April. So that's run in conjunction with the Mersey River Festival, and we're running it down at the Princess Dock. So we go away from this venue and we go to a more, you could say, prestigious venue within the city centre of Liverpool. So there's a lot of spectators, and it's good because you get a lot of people coming who are visiting the city, and they see the sport and they've never seen the sport before. You know, and obviously it is funny when you watch, because it is a contact sport. You know, you've got spectators who've never seen the sport before, and they're shouting that, you know, you can't be doing that. You can't be pushing him in. You can't be, you know. It's so, you know, it is funny, and it is good to watch spectators. So that's, you know, a big event for the club. We try and get as many teams from throughout the country, and we have, you know, European teams. We try and encourage European teams to come over. It's harder with the European teams now because there's so many European tournaments throughout the the season, it's unbelievable. It's basically every weekend there's there's 1/2 tournaments throughout Europe. So club-wise, that's a big event coming off. We'd hopefully get between 40 and 50 teams coming to that event. So it is a big thing. It's a big thing for the club to organise and get set up. Team-wise, we've got basically the National Club Championships coming up. So that's where we'll take a lot, 3 or 4 teams over to one event. The ladies team within their training for the basically the club championships, which hopefully if they win the league or win the club championships, then that gets them into the European club championships, and that's obviously the aim of any team, is to try and get into the European club championships. So part of their training and their thing is they're going over to Duisburg to do a tournament in Duisburg, and then the club itself has taken 3 teams across to Helmond in Holland, and that's over the Easter weekend. So again, we've got 3 teams going to that. We've got the ladies Div 1 team, the men's Div 1 team, and we've got a Div 2 team going over there just to try and push people on in that. And it's all about getting the top level games at those tournaments. So when they do, have to go to their league tournaments and their, tournaments in the UK, they played the top level teams throughout Europe. So then over the summer, obviously a lot of the club players are currently in training with the Great Britain team. So same again as before, we've got the under-21 ladies, under-21 men, then the ladies and then the men. So we've got club paddlers that go once a month over to Doncaster to do the GB training. So they are committed, to what they do. If they look at the amount of time that is spent. So the aim with the GB training is for selection. So this year it's the European Championships, and it's over in Portugal this year. Last year was the World Championships, and then again in 2020 it'll be the World Championships again. So the selection process that the Great Britain squads have is basically they train once a month, and then there's basically selection criteria, and basically people get dropped off out of the squad, or if they don't meet that selection criteria. So that's the aim of a lot of the top paddlers within the club, is to basically represent the country over at the European Championships this year, over there. Youth wise, there's basically a club over in Belfast which are developing basically a European stroke World Championships for basically under 18 paddlers, and the gentleman involved has basically promoted that over the last couple of years, and it's a big thing. So if you imagine you've got under 16 teams, under 18 teams and under 14 teams coming from all over, to meet and play at this level, it's really good for the sport. Excuse me. So that's basically the aims, I would say, of the paddlers within the club.
Make it to Team GB level, and most recently trying to get into the Team GB squad for the European Championships.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at any paddler that starts off in the club, obviously everybody, I suppose, has aims, and your initial aim would be that, first of all, you want to get in a team, and that would be, just a novice team, and then from that, you would then look to try and move up into the higher ranked teams, and then go and start playing in Europe, and then once you start playing in Europe, and then you would then start looking to try and get into the Great Britain squads, and then moving on to that, try and get into the teams that are travelling around the world to play in different tournaments. But again, it all depends on that's the polo side of it. Again, you've got people within the club that their aim is to achieve a similar level within slalom, you know, which is other, you know, part of canoeing sport. You know, we've got paddlers who've done freestyle canoeing and things like that. So I think everybody has their own aim and their own target, and it could just be, with some people, I want to learn how to roll a kayak. Some people, they want to go all the way, you know, so it's all on the individual.
So what individuals from Friends of Allenby could we possibly see at the European Championships for Team GB? Will Ginny be there, for example? Anybody else?
I'd imagine Ginny, you know, Ginny should be there, hopefully. You've got the Shivan McCutcheon, hopefully he plays in goal, hopefully. You've got Jack Poyford, same again. Shivan McCutcheon and Jack Poyford were part of the under-21 team that won the World Championships last year, but Jack Poyford is basically what they call is aged out, so he's moved up into the men's team. And because they play that closely together, even though Shivan is still eligible to play in the under-21s, he's basically moved up into the men's team as well. So hopefully, you know, we should see those two. And then the under-21 ladies team, we've got players there that, you know, should be able to get selected. You know, nothing's set in stone, so they've got to work hard to get the selection into the team. But you've got Amira Rowdy, you've got Georgina, you know, there's a few, you know, obviously there's a few to mention that. They're all there within the squad setup, and they've just got to work hard to get into the teams, get selected into the teams. You know, so, and then, you know, there's a couple of young lads who've just gone up into the under-21 squads. They've got to work really hard because they're 15-year-old lads competing in a selection process, you know, with 18-year-old, you know, for the under-21 process. But I think they see that more as a long-term, you know, thing, get involved with the squads and basically work their way up within them squads. So, you know, hopefully, might be this year, but hopefully, you know, the club itself will have people involved with the squads, you know, for many years to come, hopefully.
So, finally, what would you say separates Friends of Allenby from every other canoe club in the country? What's the secret of the success, really? What's behind it all?
I think it is such a it's an open-minded club. It's friendly. You know, there's different, as I said, different parts of the sport. It's not just about canoe polo, although canoe polo is a big thing, you know, within the club. You know, as I said, you can just come along and have a paddle, have a laugh, and just go out on a nice summer's day and, you know, paddle around the dock complex. You can go out on days out with the club, you know, up to the lakes, or, you know, around the different places around the country, or you can, if you want to, go and compete at high level. You know, but the club is built basically on families, and that, you know, like myself, I started, you know, paddling with the club when I was 12. You know, so a lot of the paddlers have been with the club for, you know, many a year, and that's what we try and promote. You know, so facilities wise, you know, we have got bare minimum, but it's a lot better than what it was, you know, obviously 10 years ago, you know, 15 years ago, with China, you know, expand with China, you know, develop pitches, develop the dock complex. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're an amateur club, and we're just trying to promote and get, you know, young people involved in the sport.
Terrific. I think that's about